Hello friends and welcome to Obsidian Soft. Today I will show you how to make a Google's Gemini AI chatbot app in MIT App Inventor. Let's have a look at the demo. The chat is dynamic. All your questions and Gemini responses are shown using labels with different background colors. For this, we need an extension for adding dynamic components. So basically, you will be learning two cool things in this tutorial. That is, you will learn how to connect MIT App Inventor with Google Gemini AI, and you will also learn how to use the dynamic components extension, which can add a lot of elegance to your apps. However, remember that this is not a basic level tutorial, so you need to be a bit comfortable with MIT App Inventor to make this app. First, let's get the free API key for Gemini, but keep in mind that its usage is not unlimited. I believe it is around 500 requests per day, which is pretty good for a student level, entry level apps, okay? So go to Get Started. Here under For Developers, click on Start Building, and then under Gemini API, click on Get Your API Key. You must consent to the Google API's terms of service, and you can optionally check this box for enrolling in the email program, okay? I accept, and then again, click on this button, Get API Key. Click here, and then you will get the API key. So I will be hiding my API key from here. You need to hide your API key too. I mean, do not share it with anyone, especially if you are going for a billing plan and you're paying for that API key usage. So I'm going to click here and then I'm going to get my API key, but I will be hiding my API key, okay? So I got the API key and it's here and I'm just going to copy it, okay? So this is the curl command. This is the tool or command for interacting with web APIs. Curl stands for client URL, okay? We have to convert this command into blocks in our code. So go to MIT App Inventor, go to Projects, start a new project. Let's call it Gemini AI Chatbot. Please keep the toolkit default, okay? This is super important. Click on OK. Make the screen orientation portrait. I'm going to change the title to Gemini Chatbot, okay? Now, add from layout a horizontal arrangement onto the viewer. Make align horizontal center, align vertical center. Make the height 15% and the width fill parent. Add from user interface a text box inside this horizontal arrangement. Let's rename it to question.txt and make font bold, font size 18, and I'm going to make the width 70%. On the right of this text box, I am also going to add a button, again, from the user interface. Let's rename it to Submit button, okay? And I'm going to make it font bold, font size 18. And I'm going to change to orange, make its width 20%, okay, and let's write submit on it, okay. Now below this horizontal arrangement, we need to add a vertical scroll arrangement that will contain our chat, those dynamic labels, okay, that we will be creating as the chat progresses, okay? So make its width fill parent and we are going to make the height 75%. Now I'm going to temporarily add a label inside there. This is just for testing our connectivity with Gemini AI, okay? So we will be removing it later, okay? Now from connectivity, add a web component, drag it onto the viewer. We also need an extension for the dynamic components, but we will get that later, okay? So our basic UX design is done. So let's go to the block section. We need a global variable, reply txt. This will contain the response from the servers, the Gemini servers. Now get the submit button, click event, and construct the web URL. So here web, and then this set web URL to a join of two things. Okay, so go back here, and now you will be getting this URL here, okay, this thing. So you need to copy it from here, okay? And this is basically using Gemini 2.0 Flash, which is better for chatbots. It's faster, but you can use a different model here too, okay? So I'm just going to keep it the same way. So just copy this entire thing. In fact, do not copy the entire thing, just copy till this equal to here, okay? So only till equal to, and do not copy the inverted commas, just copy from H till this equal to, and then come back to your project, get an empty text block and paste it there, okay? And here we will put in our API key, okay? So here I need to get it again, copy, and then paste. So this is my API key. I will be hiding it in this video, okay? So get your own API key. And now we have to set our web request headers, okay? So basically we are converting this curl command into blocks, okay? So you can see that this is the header section, content type application / JSON, okay? So I'm constructing it right in front of you. Be super careful while doing it, okay? So set web1.request headers, go to dictionaries and get the make a dictionary block, okay? Okay, and we just need one key and one value, so we do not need the second row. So click on the cogwheel and get rid of the second pair. Now what will come here? Text blocks. Let's just plug in empty text blocks. And again, so keep this window open. Here, the key is content type. So copy it. The spellings are super important, okay? So copy this content type and then copy this application / JSON. Okay. So content type and application / JSON, okay? Now we are going to call web1's PostText procedure. So here it is. And we are going to construct slowly that block structure, this thing, okay? So please do it carefully with me, okay? So first, go to dictionaries and get the make a dictionary block. Again, remove the extra pair, okay? Here, the key is contents. So here I'm going to copy it so I do not make an unintentional spelling mistake. So copy contents, and the value is a make a list block. Click on the cogwheel, remove the extra item from it. So it's a single item list, okay? Now inside this list, this is again a make a dictionary block. click on the cogwheel, remove the extra pair. So pause the video at this point and just do it this way. So make a dictionary with key contents, value, a make a list block, and the make a list block is actually a make a dictionary block with a key and value. So what is the key here? It's an empty text block that says parts. Okay. So parts I copied from there. Okay. And the value a list. So I am going to go to lists and get the make a list block. Okay. Now again, it's a one item list. So we don't need the extra one. And then this make a list block is again a dictionary block. So a lot of dictionaries and lists involved here. Click on the cogwheel. It's just a one pair dictionary. And what is this dictionary? It is, see, it's a dictionary text. So copy text from here. Again, I'm copying it from here to avoid spelling mistakes. And this is the question, okay, which is sent by the user. So here, a text block that says text, and the value is your whatever is inside your question text, okay? So this is the question that is submitted by the user, okay? So let's go over it one more time. web1.postText, make a dictionary with the key contents and a value, a make a list. Inside the make a list one, we have another dictionary with the key parts and the value make a list. And then make a list is actually a dictionary with just one pair in it, key text, and the value is the question sent by the user. And this has been successfully constructed. So now I am just going to empty the question text after a question has been asked so that we are ready to write down the next question. So set question.text, question text.text. Okay, that was a tongue twister to an empty block. Okay, so this is done. We're done with calling Gemini. So let's now work on decoding, the response sent by the servers. We have done it so many times that whenever we call web1.get or web1.postText, web1.gotText is triggered. Okay, so here this response content will contain the reply from the Gemini servers. And if you have done it exactly the way I have shown you, you will be getting a proper response content from the servers. So now we are going to make a local variable from variables, and I'm going to call it decoded, DIC, dictionary for short. And this is basically web1 here, JSON text decode with dictionaries. Okay, so this is a cool tool. It will decode the JSON text sent by the servers into a dictionary by MIT App Inventor. Okay, so I have to provide it the response content. Okay, so now we have a dictionary here inside this decoded dictionary, and we have to now get to our answer. Okay, so again, we have to construct some dictionaries and lists. So be very careful, pause the video so that you do it carefully. So first of all, we are going to set our reply text to dictionaries get value for key block, where the key is text. So I can actually duplicate this from here. Okay. In which dictionary? In a list. So this. Okay. And with index 1. Okay. So how am I doing it? Actually, I use the notify to see what the response content was returned by the server, and I took a screenshot of it and then I decoded it for you. So I've done the hard work for you. Just copy it the way I'm doing in front of you, okay? And what will come in this list? From dictionaries, get the get value for key block, and here the key is parts. So I can actually duplicate it from here and bring it here. Now this should be an empty list, okay, because it is expecting a list here, okay. So if not found, it should be an empty list. And in which dictionary? This is basically another dictionary. So get value for key, and here the key is content. So I can duplicate it and remove the S from it, okay. So be very careful with the spellings. And this is expecting a dictionary. So I can get the create empty dictionary block from here. And here, what is coming here? It is again a list. So select list item block. Again, just one item list. So index 1. And the list is now another dictionary. So get value for key, and the key is now, you have to type it yourself, candidates. So candidates. So be careful with the spellings, and right click this get block to duplicate it and then bring it here and choose decoded dictionary here. So the dictionary that we decoded from the response content, we are going to get the data from it in this way, and this is not found. This is an empty list. So be careful with the not found blocks too. So this is expecting a list. So if not found, it should be a list. So go over it again. So reply text, get value for key text, select list item block, parts, if not found then empty list, the dictionary, content, if not found it's an empty dictionary, and then the dictionary is actually the first item of a list. Which list? The list that we get from the dictionary for the key candidates from the decoded dictionaries. So just do it the way I have shown you and you will get your answer here, okay? The reply from the servers. And the last thing that you need to do is that, remember that temporary label, this is just for testing. Just put the reply text inside here, okay? And we are done with the basic integration with Gemini API. Let's try the app now. And you can see it's working. We're getting a response from the Gemini servers for our question. Isn't it cool? And of course, you can make it more awesome by either using a speaking avatar like the one I taught on my channel in my ChatGPT tutorials, or you can use dynamic components as shown in the demo at the beginning of this video to give that Messenger or WhatsApp-like look. I will work on the dynamic components in the next and final part of this tutorial. The reason I'm splitting the video into two parts is for the convenience of those viewers who just want to learn how to use the dynamic components extension. I'm signing off now, hoping to see you soon in the final part of this tutorial, which I will try to publish with this part so that no one has to wait. Please like this video and share my work with friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet, so that you don't miss the great projects that I've planned for you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.